Scott, it's nice to spend some time with you. What I've appreciated about conversations with superintendents recently is the transparency and the openness to discuss not only the role, but some of the challenges faced by districts so that we can incorporate more voices, more ideas, more innovation. One area that I'm noticing a continued shift and change in a positive direction is looking at funding and ways in which to be creative for districts that have to offset budget shortfalls. And we're hearing more and more where we're incorporating in public-private partnerships. We're looking at, corporate America, even from a funding perspective. How have you looked at providing different resources or opportunities for your district by incorporating the communities around your district in Pennsylvania?
Sure. Well, one thing we've done in the Lakeland School District is we started a facility advertising campaign. I'm sure you've seen Little League fields, how they have signs in the outfield. Well, our campus was a blank slate for this opportunity. And so we, looked at the Chamber of Commerce, list of businesses, and just saturated our whole region with an application to advertise in our facility for a small fee.
Pretty good response?
Not initially, no.
Really?
But no, I'm in a school district that's vast, about 60 square miles, and we only have 1,500 students, and it's mostly rural. The Scranton area itself has a much bigger school district, about 10,000 students. But we didn't get a huge response. I think that people were skeptical about what it was. Maybe they wanted to put money in their own local area school district, because we have a lot of school districts right there in the valley of Scranton. In my school district, we have about a $20 million budget annually. And the first year we raised $14,000, which for us is big money. And it's continual. You could buy a 3-year term to have you sign up, or a 2 or a 1-year term, and every year we just send it back out, ask people if they want to renew, if they're coming up for expiration. We just keep doing the same thing. And it's kind of leveled off. We're at about $18,000. We're in our 3rd year, and I think it'll probably be about there. I don't
and the message is every
huge
dollar does count.
Absolutely. And in my school district, $18,000 could fund many different things, many different extracurricular after-school programs, maybe some summer stuff. That money goes a long way in my area.
Let's talk about the change and the shift in our learners, our students of all ages, where they're becoming creators, right? They're owning their own learning in a lot of ways, and I'm finding that a lot of...
If they're allowed to.
If they're allowed to. And the second part of that is then how do we as adults and leaders within our districts communicate that learning back to parents and families so that it's a more generative discussion, as opposed to what you and I experienced going through school,
right,
which was just a letter in the mail that said this is how we did at one given point in time. How are you looking at that? And how are you incorporating technology to support those efforts?
Sure. Well, the first thing, Rod, is we have to get away from grades. We have to get away from talking about grades, because grades don't mean anything to a parent. It's an A, a B, a 90, an 80. It doesn't really communicate to the parent, or to the child for that matter, what they learned or haven't learned throughout the course of whatever span of time. And we have to shrink down the amount of time at which we have these things. There should be daily formative assessments going on kids. There should be multiple ways at how we're assessing kids as well, and multiple opportunities for them to demonstrate their mastery or progress at whatever we're expecting them to learn at that given point in time. But as far as incorporating technology and how we do that, the parent portals that come with many different student information systems are getting really, really good. And they're becoming more and more intuitive to allow us to individualize those report mechanisms to be a skills-based thing or a standards-based thing, not just spelling 86.
Yeah, meaningful information.
Correct.
So let's drill down then to the younger students. How has it changed for you in your position as a superintendent in evaluating with your teams technology that is available for the K to 8, both student and teacher? It seems like the technology sector has gotten much better at understanding there are different needs, there are different opportunities, not only to support the teacher, but to engage the student. And that then changes the purchasing decisions and pathways of districts. How are you looking at that?
Well, we've definitely infused more technology options for students in grades K-6 in our elementary schools. We have K-6 schools and a 7th, 12, a junior, senior high school, just so you have some context. And we have started some computer science discussions at the elementary school level, but we have to teach them where they're at. I mean, these are the things that they have at home. They're playing with their mom's phone from the time they're 2 years old, and we have to teach using the vehicles at which they are innately used to using. It's not a textbook-driven world anymore, and we just have to. Well, we have to stop trying to do things the way that we learned. We did that happened to us.
Get out of our comfort zone.
We have to. Well, not just that. But I'm saying we have to stop doing it the way that it was done to us. Is what I'm saying. And then that's just the nature of the beast, and that's why I think it takes so long for innovative things to happen.
And isn't that what was key? You said
schools.
Done to us, because that's really the experience we had.
You're absolutely right.
We didn't have the ownership of it.
No,
in
you're
our
absolutely
experience.
right.
Yeah.
And that's a battle. It's a constant battle, even with teachers and principals and superintendents, constantly, trying to, get them to break out of that. That's critical.
Let's close with this. If you think about your path to superintendency, and this is your second post, I believe, how can we do a better job of identifying the next crop of superintendent that's out there that might be a high school senior or might be a community member that we're starting, or a leading teacher that has the skills now that those in current superintendent positions see as needed and necessary personality traits, skills, and abilities for where we're going?
One of the key things I think that characteristics that you have is you have to be willing to risk things. You've got to be willing to take risks and not fear failure. As long as you're not doing anything illegal or really super inappropriate, then we need to advocate for taking risks within our own staff, and you will identify those people that have those. As soon as you identify those folks, that those are the ones that are going to be the good school leaders, good district leaders, because they're going to perpetuate the encouragement of risk-taking and not fearing failure.
And the irony is that's what we want in our students, right?
Absolutely,
we want them to feel that
Absolutely
they can
right.
take the...
I mean, that's where the greatest learning happens, when we fall on our face. It's going to, all the places you'll go. Read that book from Dr. Seuss. Great story about, picking yourself up and everything's going to be okay, and you'll be really great at times and you'll be not so great at times, and it's okay.